Christie. My talk is called Welcome to Optimism, Brand Building in a Post-Advertising World. I'm from Wieden & Kennedy. We're the world's largest independent creative agency. You may know us from campaigns such as these. Okay, I think I've got 7 minutes, so let's go. The first thing to say is that change isn't new. The printing press put the monks out of business. The camera put portrait painters out of business. The iPhone put camera makers out of business. Progress is the direct access to the means of getting to an end, a shortening of the distance between A and B. In each step, friction is taken out of the process, from physical to digital to mobile to voice. More delivery, less friction. That's the challenge that all businesses have in front of them in the 21st century. And the result is that we have changes at the top, almost a completely different shape of market. We've moved from a market of things to a market of systems. And we also have changes at the bottom. Size is no longer your friend because small companies can do things that in the past only huge companies could do. Size can actually hamper reinvention. Disruptive change, like the monks in the printing press, disruptive change is rooted in more people having access to tools that used to be available only to those who had the money and the skills to use it. And this unprecedented access to the means of production is what created the new economy. And of course, this disruption impacts all businesses, and it trickles down to agencies, which is why we see headlines like this, and more stories like this, which results in a picture like this, where all the holding company stocks are going down. So that sounds like what some might describe as some kind of Mad Max post-apocalyptic dystopia. Well, I'm not suggesting that there are no more ads in this world. There are more ads than ever, obviously. But people used to say that the ads were better than the programs, and they're not saying that so much anymore. In fact, what they're saying these days is they hate your ads. 91% of people say ads are more intrusive today than 2 or 3 years ago. 87% feel that there are more ads in general than there were 2 or 3 years ago. And 79% feel like they're being tracked by retargeted ads. So it's no wonder they're doing anything they can to block your advertising and in fact will pay money to avoid seeing your shitty adverts. So now that we're all scared of what's going on, where does the optimism come in? Well, the good news, I would suggest, is that it's not that people hate ads. 77% of people on that survey agreed with the statement, I wish there was a way not to block ads completely, but to filter ads. So it turns out people don't necessarily hate ads, they hate bad ads. So in this new world, there's no place for mediocrity. And as Mark Pritchard of P&G was saying, there's still a place for brilliant talent, brilliant creative talent. What there isn't necessarily room for is bureaucracy and unnecessary overhead. And how that's affecting an agency like Wieden & Kennedy? Well, we've gone from making ads like this, Nike, Write the Future, with a crew that looked like this, and millions of dollars worth of production, to ads like this, Stories Are Everywhere for Instagram, with a crew like this. Created in Instagram, shot on phones. These are not the kind of ads that we used to make, but they came from the same kind of creative thinking. And it proved to us that there was still a place for our creativity, and that it could live anywhere, and that doing this kind of work could be fun. So we've moved forwards. We have forged relationships with direct and digital brands, companies that are setting the pace for business going forward, companies like Airbnb, Babbel, Lyft, Instagram, Niantic, Spotify, OkCupid, and we've had some success with that. We're also working at the same time with companies that are doing the hard work of evolving for the new realities of business. Companies who are understanding the new marketing mix of business, marketing, and winning at it. And the marketing mix for both kinds of companies seems clearer than it has been for some time. So this is where the optimism lives. As the economy loses friction and becomes more direct, more businesses going direct to consumers, there's an opportunity for any brand and for creative companies to connect with people in new ways and to build real relationships with them. It's an opportunity to reassess the things that we thought were rules about marketing and reinvent those things. Great 21st century marketers will mercilessly hone the direct, the targeted, the programmatic. They'll do all those things, of course, but they will also use the work to do something bigger. They'll make work that creates a conversation and that lives in the real world, not the ad world. Brands that are ideas will have so much more permission to engage with people. And that will mean work like the kind of stuff that we do for Nike, which could range from everything from a celebration of the spirit of young Londoners told through their own channels, to the creation of a virtual reality shoe studio, to a challenge to run a marathon in under 2 hours. Or the kind of work that we do for KFC, where we're making everything from a robot animatronic Colonel Saunders to sending a chicken sandwich into space. There really are no limits. Media doesn't dictate the terms. Culture dictates the terms, and it's the opportunity for brands to really engage with culture in a different way. I'm struggling to get past this slide. Oh, I've lost it altogether. Well, what I was going to say was, so what that means is, here we are. So what that means is, this is what brands of the 21st century look like. How they're built and how they reach us isn't the only factor in success. It's not either or, it's yes and. Supporting culture with creativity and purpose and action. Brands that are wrapped in and carried by the voice of real people. This is what brands can do, and this is what agencies must do. So what I wanted to say was, welcome to 21st century marketing, welcome to everything, and welcome to Optimism. And that was it from me. Thank you.